What's up guys, my name is Liam, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at two microphones from SteelSeries, the Alias and the Alias Pro. And in this video I'm going to be breaking down how my experience has been using both of these so far. I'll be comparing it to some of the competition out there, even letting you know how it stacks up against a headset with a microphone built into it. So hopefully by the end of this video I'll be able to help you decide whether or not any one of these could possibly be the perfect microphone for you. So let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know these were sent out to me. However, everything you'll be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box with the Alias, it does come with some documentation, a USB-C to USB Type-A cable, also a mic stand, and then it also does come with this boom arm adapter. And with the Alias Pro, it does come with this control module, an XLR cable. It does come with two USB Type-A to USB Type-C cables, although I do only have one here. The power adapter, also with a mic stand, and this one also does come with a boom arm adapter as well. The quality of the mic stand that does come included with both these microphones, it does feel really high quality. I honestly don't have anything to really critique about it. It does have a plastic piece right here, but it does feel nice and durable. It does go into a metal bottom with a rubberized bottom to avoid any type of vibrations or anything like that coming through the microphone. And just to show you really quick, this does feel really heavy and solid. So just the mic stand by itself is coming in right under 350 grams. I'll go ahead and throw the weight of the microphones on here really quick, and just do keep in mind there is the boom adapter attached on the back here. So the original Alias, throwing that on here separately, looks like I got it coming in around 460 grams. And then the Alias Pro, again, remember it does have the boom arm on here. Looks like this one is coming in right around 421 grams. So I'm going to start out going on an overview on just the exterior of both these mics. We'll start with the Alias first. The audio that you're listening to right now, I will switch over to these microphones, but since I'm touching these and have these in my hand, I didn't want to use the audio so you didn't hear any of the banging or anything like that going on. The setup that I use for my videos, this is a Rode NTG5. It's about a $500 microphone, and I do have this plugged into an audio interface, the Zoom F6. So I'll go ahead and show you what those look like here really quickly. So first we'll start out here with going over the Alias. Both of these are condenser microphones, and they do both come with this shock mount. So for a condenser microphone, these are actually designed so that they don't have to be like right up in your face. You want to typically have these around 8 to 12 inches away from you as you're using it. But you do need to have this front part facing to you. If you were to tilt the microphone to the side, then you are going to start to lose your voice coming through on the microphone. The original Alias here, I really do feel like is probably going to be a better option for most or a majority of people, just with the simplicity of how this microphone is set up and how it works. Some of my favorite things that you can see about it directly right here off the bat is it does have an audio indicator. So I'll go ahead and tap up here on the top. As you can see, there is a yellow and a red light. So if you were to start to spike or anything like that, or even being able to see that your voice is coming through on the mic, honestly is a really cool option. I've been really enjoying using this a lot. There also is a mute button right here on the front. If you're to click that, you do get a very clear red LED X that does come through on the screen. So there's never been a time where I've been confused or lost on whether or not this mic is muted, or even if it's working, since it does show you even the entire time you're getting a level of the audio coming in through the microphone. And if we were to look over here on the back, you do have a headphone jack to be able to monitor the audio that is coming from the microphone. So that is what this knob right here controls. The input for the microphone itself, or the gain, excuse me, you control with this knob right here on the back. I do like how they put it on the back, since this is something that you generally just want to get set up once. Once you have it fine-tuned, you just want to leave it and then not touch it as it is. But right above the headphone jack, you do have the USB-C connectivity right here from the rear. And I will be honest with you guys, the one thing that I do wish was differently on both of these microphones, because the other one I'll show you here shortly, the XLR comes out of the back the exact same way. Having it come out like this is a bit of a pain for me, due to the fact that I do like to mount my mics from the bottom up, because when I'm sitting at my desk, I do have my monitor on a monitor stand. I have it raised up kind of right in front of my face. So it does kind of make it a little bit more of an inconvenience here. As you can see, once you do drop the boom arm down, if you're to try to mount it anyway, then clearly this is going to get in the way. I kind of wish they did something where they put the connectivity in the bottom portion of the microphone itself. And then lastly, the last thing to mention about this is this does have an LED indicator down here at the bottom. Now this is not a button or anything like that. You can't press this, but this does, as you can see, light up and change colors. I actually do really like having a light on the bottom of the microphone here. here, especially if you're playing in a dark environment. You have this sitting above your keyboard. It does allow you to able to see your keyboard a little bit better when you're moving it around and stuff like that. But aside from that, that's pretty much just what the look of it all around looks like over here starting out for the Alias. All right, so here we have the Alias Pro, and as you can see, just the general look of it does look similar. However, this doesn't have any of the features on it. So there's no buttons on the front. It does not have any type of LED indicators on this microphone at all. And if you were to come over here on the rear, as you can see, the only thing it has is an XLR input. So there's no additional buttons, gain features, or anything like that. And everything about the Alias Pro is controlled through this audio interface right here that does come included with. So starting over here on the front left-hand side, this is the input gain where you can adjust it for the mic itself. And I'll plug all this in here shortly and show you what it looks like when it's actually working and lit up. And you do have the mute button for the microphone right here. Over here on the right-hand side, this does come with a gain knob and also this mute button. This does come pre-programmed to this headphone jack right here, so you can monitor the input that does come out of the microphone itself, but all this can be reprogrammed to something else through the software, which we'll get into here shortly if you did wish to do so. Over at the rear of this interface, one of the biggest benefits about the Alias Pro is that it does come with 2 USB-C ports, so you can use this for a dual PC setup. Down here in the bottom right-hand side is where you need to plug in an AC adapter to power the unit. It is not powered through the USB-C ports. When I first started using this, I thought it was kind of an inconvenience to not only just have another cable coming off your desk, but also to have to plug into your wall or into some type of a power strip or something like that. But honestly, really have enjoyed using it this way. And the reason being is because this unit does actually come with a power button. Now, this does provide phantom power to your microphone, so do make sure that you do have this turned off before you do plug your mic in. You don't want to plug it in while you have it turned on because it can damage the microphone itself. And the power button on this is really straightforward. You press it down and it stays further in when it's powered on. When you release it, it comes further out to let you know that it is off. And then they also do have a line out option right here. So here's what it looks like when we have everything plugged in. And right off the bat, what you can clearly see is there is an LED indicator right here around the gain knob. And it does work similarly to the original Alias, to where if you were to start over spiking or anything like that, as you can see, it will hit yellow and then eventually hit red if your microphone does start clipping. As you can see, this light is actually really bright out of the box, and it was very distracting for me in a darker room. You can't actually control the dimness of this, or the brightness of it, excuse me, in the software. We'll go over that here shortly. So I did leave it turned up just for the purpose of this video, but I will eventually go in here and turn that down. And when you do have it at its lowest setting, it actually is not very that bright or distracting at all. And then if you were to come over here and hit the mute button, this also does glow red. Same thing happens over here for this dial knob. Here's a look at the bottom of the unit. It does have this LED strip here that you can either turn that off or customize it inside the software. And then it also does have a completely rubberized bottom down here. Even this front piece up here is rubberized to give it some additional grip on your desk. And like I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite things about this mic as I was testing it out is just the simple fact that it does have this power button back here where you can just completely turn the unit off. There's lots of times where I'm actually not even using my mic at all. So the fact that I can just completely have this off and it's not using my USB ports or anything like that, just staying randomly plugged in as I'm using it, or even as I'm testing out other peripherals out there, this has been a huge bonus for me. And I honestly kind of wish that all mics came with some type of a power switch to turn them on or off if you're not using them. So to kick things off, starting with the samples, right now I do have the SteelSeries Nova Pro headset on, and this is what the mic sounds like. Just to be clear, this is just a flat EQ setting. There's no additional presets or anything like that applied, but here's just a sample of what this microphone sounds like directly out of the headset. The Blue Yeti microphone, just want to be clear with you guys, I don't have this set up with any type of EQ setting. The only thing I am going to adjust on this is the levels to properly match it so you can hear it for this video, but aside from that, there is no other processing added to this microphone. And now we have the audio coming out of the SteelSeries Alias, and just to be clear, I do not have Sonar open right now, do not have any of the EQ or other audio settings enabled on this microphone right now. Here's a look at the SteelSeries GG software. Over here on the quick set tab is where you can make quick adjustments to this microphone on the fly. If you're to come in here and first off on this audio tab, they do give you this mic side tone option. You can adjust this so that you can hear your own voice through your output device to kind of help monitor with what the audio input is sounding like. They also do have this illumination tab where you can turn off all the LED settings on the microphone if you wish to do so, or leave that on. You can even just individually turn off the LED light down here at the bottom. If you click over here to go to Prism, this is where you can make further adjustments to this bottom LED indicator down here. Again, turn it off. As you can see, you can do breathe, audio visualizer, change the colors and stuff like that. And next up, we're going to click on the sonar. This is where it allows you to come in and make more advanced setup. So I'll show you just really quickly. As you can see here, you do have access to this equalizer, and then you also do have a noise gate, the noise reduction settings, and a compressor down here. Starting out here with the Clearcast AI noise cancellation. This is something I really enjoy using a lot with this microphone. I'm gonna go ahead and type on my keyboard here really quick. So that's what it sounds like when you don't have this on. So I'm gonna go ahead and enable this. And the stock setting, I found that this usually puts that as around 50, 60, somewhere in this ballpark right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type on my keyboard that is sitting directly underneath this microphone. So that's the difference that you're going to get in the audio levels by having this on or off. Again, I do prefer just leaving this on in general. Next up, if you come over here to this noise reduction, this pretty much is what this AI noise cancellation does. So if you do have this enabled, you cannot use these, but basically what this does is the background noise will get rid of just any general background noise, whether there's somebody else kind of talking in the background, you have a fan on, television, anything like that. Whereas the impact, if you were to adjust this filter right here, this will make adjustments if you're like hitting any type of keystrokes on the keyboard itself. Again, I just have been using the Clearcast, so if you want to, you can go and play around with these settings. This also does have a noise gate, and I found that I haven't been needing to use this noise gate as I've been using the AI noise cancellation. You can, however, use this if you are using this and you are still getting some additional background noise. I always recommend with the gate being very easy on the threshold. And I'll go ahead and show you why. As you might have been able to hear there right off the bat, it usually will start to cut out your voice once you do get higher into the 40 settings. So I'll keep talking right now and I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So I'm not sure exactly, you might have heard me losing my voice there. So usually, honestly, around 50 at the highest type of a setting. Again, just I would recommend being really soft with this. And again, you just kind of have to experiment with it and play around. If you do get too high, then your voice will start to cut out. So I'll go ahead and disable that here for you really quick. We'll go and turn the AI noise cancellation back on. And then they also do have a compressor setting, which I also do use. And I would recommend with this one going somewhere between the 30 and the 50 range. So I'll enable it while I'm talking. You should notice a difference right off the bat. It does kind of level out your voice. It kind of brings down the highs and brings up the lows to just give you kind of overall a louder, more punchy sound. So here's what a difference on this would sound like if I went to a 30. And again, my recommendation is somewhere between here and the 50. So you'll just need to play around with it based on what you find to work best for you in your settings. Now I'm going to show you a quick example using one of the presets with the EQ applied. Once you do come in here and select these, as you can see, it does make adjustment to the EQ. You can clearly hear what my voice sounds like right now, and just automatically off the bat, it will set up the AI noise cancellation for you, and it does look like it sets it to 60, and it also did set up the compressor. It looks like it put the compressor to 30. All right, and finally we have the Alias Pro setup here, so we'll just jump into the quick set settings. We'll go and jump into here on the default settings. Here you can adjust the mic side tone. You can even turn on or off the phantom power for this microphone. Do things like control the illumination, set it off, turn it off, make it less bright. And then even, like I told you guys, you do have to change the mode on here to be able to change the mute and this dial function over here, but you'll be able to do it from this page right here. Same thing with the prism. You can come over here to the prism settings to make any type of additional adjustments to the LED settings on here if you wish to do so. And then jumping back into the settings for the sonar. So this is really similar like what I was just going over for the Alias. So I'm not going to repeat myself and go over these settings, but you do have these presets right here. I'll go ahead and show you just some really quick examples with how the sound signature on this microphone sounds like compared to the Alias. So again, having all this stuff turned off and having a flat EQ here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type really quick on my keyboard so you can see what the background noise sounds like. And then just really quick to demonstrate, I'm going to come in here. This also does have samples. So this is for the original Alias, and you do have these presets for a Alias Pro for the boom arm, the desk stand. I do currently have this on the boom arm, so I'm going to go ahead and enable this right now. This is what the EQ curve looks like. This does enable the clear cast AI noise cancellation. Looks like it sets it to 60. This also does enable the noise gate. Again, you can play around with these settings here. A little bit different here for this microphone since it does have a higher dynamic range and it is a little bit more sensitive, but I'll go ahead and demonstrate for you guys here really quick. I'm going to type on my keyboard so you can see what the background noise sounds like. And I'm also going to go ahead and talk while I'm typing on my keyboard so you can hear the difference. And again, as you might be able to tell from the sound coming through this, I don't feel like myself, I have to come in here and make too many adjustments to these presets. They did a really good job at tuning these right out of the gate. SteelSeries does also have their own boom arm that is made for these microphones. I do believe this is coming in around $99. So I just wanted to go over this here for you really quickly. If you are in the market for a boom arm, real typical stuff where you do have this anchoring point down here to screw onto your desk. And then this piece just slides right here and is able to rotate around freely. But I must say that the quality and the feeling of this boom arm does really feel fantastic. You do get these 3 points of movement right here where you can loosen them up or tighten them. And the entire time that I've been using this, just the build on this, it feels really solid. It has like this springy system. So I'll go ahead and show you here really quick. It kind of pops back into place. So even if you're loosening this up and moving it around, you're not going to have any issues with this falling on you or collapsing or anything like that. Up here on the backs on this piece right here, and even over here, it does have this area so you can put a cord in here. And the design of this is really fluid. You just simply pull these up, you drop your cable in here, and then you just click them down just like that. So this was really easy to set up and install or make any type of adjustments to the cable if I needed to do so. And though I do feel like just the build, the usability, the feeling of this does feel very premium, the one thing I do want to be very clear with you guys on this is designed to be a top-down system. So before picking this up, do make sure this is going to work properly with your setup. Here's to showcase what I'm talking about with this top-down system. As you can see, it does have the boom arm up here at the top. And this bottom piece down here is pointed down to hold up the microphone. So you kind of want to mount it something like this. And even though I'm kind of limited with space right now, obviously I'd have more off the side of my desk. I'd have this a little bit lower. So not exactly set up like this, but I just wanted to do this to demonstrate to you guys what I'm talking about. So the one thing about this microphone is I do like to use a setup where this port right here comes from the bottom, sticking up like that. And with this boom arm, I'll go ahead and raise it up here. It is limited with how much you can raise it up. So as you can see, it doesn't go any higher than that point right there. I do kind of wish that they made this so that this piece right here would rotate all the way over here like this, because then it would make it a little bit more convenient for me to use, again, coming from the bottom position, just the way that I do have the monitor on my desk mounted and everything. So just make sure that you are aware that you will need to mount it in some type of a typical fashion like this before picking this up. Now, I've never done a proper review on this headset, but I will just go ahead and give it a really quick shout out. I've talked about this headset many times in the past, and the honest truth is that this is my most used wireless headset. It's just the one that I always end up coming back to. This does have a simultaneous Bluetooth. So while you're listening to audio, if you're in Discord chatting with your friends or in game, you can listen to any type of music on your phone, watch videos while you're waiting in the lobby in between gaming sessions or anything like that. So I always have found this to be just really convenient for that. The fact that you don't have any cables coming off this headset. I do have a dog. I let him out quite a bit if I'm having an all day long gaming session, going to refill my water or anything like that. And the fact that this does have the interchangeable battery in it so that you never have to plug this in to charge it. The mute indicator, also really simple and clear over here on the side. It does pop out, and the microphone does glow red to give you an indicator that it is muted. And another thing I love about this headset is the fact that I do typically use an external microphone. I don't always use the microphone that does come out of the headset. The fact you can just put this back in the headset, it sits so flush with it, you don't even notice that it is there. So again, just one of the many reasons why I've just always come back to this headset is the convenience of it. And since we're talking about this, I did want to give just a really quick shout out about things that I felt about this headset. Number one is I got the original version of this headset when it first came out, and it does have this band up here at the top. I do kind of wish that there was some cushioning up here. I did find with the original one that I had that over time that this band can kind of loosen up. Now there is ways that you can, it's very easy to just kind of pull off, and there's additional settings where you can tighten it. So that is pretty convenient, the fact that that's so simple to do. But another thing that I did want to let you know is if you do have this headset and you want to change the aesthetic of this band, or over time it does tend to loosen up, they do have different options on their website where you can purchase, again, different color bands. You could purchase the same color if you wanted to get a newer version. And the pricing on this, I saw kind of ranges around $23 all up to $40, depending on the design you get. They do have several different types of designs. So that's one thing that I kind of felt about this headset that I wish was a little different. And probably the most important thing, when I actually got the original version, I never changed out these ear pads. And probably the biggest thing that I always had to critique about this headset was just the stock ear pads it does come with. I will show you here really quick. As you can see, they are this pleather. And for me, I just always get hot. I don't know what it is, but I always found myself sweating with these. And not only that, as you can see, these are actually really small. Even though I do have pretty small ears, I did kind of find just the depth of these and just the size of them in general just to be kind of uncomfortable, especially with how hot they get as I am using them. So I did want to throw out a quick personal recommendation for you guys. These are the Stealth Z air cushions, and they are made in collab with Wicked Cushions and Joe from Gadgetry Tech. Now, just to be clear, I don't know Joe at all. I don't have any type of relationship with him. I just saw that he had these air pads and I tried them out. I'll go ahead and put a link down in the description below. He also does have EQ settings that go along with these air pads, and truly this just kind of reinvigorated this headset for me and his EQ setting preset, especially playing Call of Duty. I do play a lot of Warzone. Honestly, he's made a huge difference for this headset. These have been much more comfortable. Now, these do still get kind of warm for me, not as hot or sweaty as the pleather type of ear pads, but again, these have definitely given a whole new life to this headset for me, and without question have made this my most used wireless headset out there on the market. Now, just to be clear, it isn't my #1 most used headset. You know, I do use a lot of options out there, something like the HD6XX, still one of my favorite headsets out there. Not saying this is the best headset of all time, but for the price and the quality you give this thing, like, I just love this headset so much. But again, this doesn't have the simultaneous Bluetooth. It's not wireless. So there are some times just for the convenience. Again, I honestly do still use this wireless headset. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up on the SteelSeries Alias and the Alias Pro. My time using both of these microphones, I must say that I have been really enjoying them. Everything that I've needed to get out of these microphones, I feel like it's worked for me. I feel like the sound quality on it is great. They do have a nice warm sound to them, and I am really happy with them and looking forward to switching over to using these as my main microphones going forward. And though, like I said, I'm not trying to say that these are the best microphones out there, but for the price point that they do come in, I really do feel like, again, that the Alias, I've already said this, but this is probably going to be the best option for most people out there. I'm probably going to be sticking with the Pro since I do have it. Again, even though it's a really small feature, the power button on it, with this I really do enjoy a lot, so I don't have to worry about plugging it in and unplugging it, and the fact that this does have a little bit of greater dynamic range, so you get a little bit better audio quality out of it. This is probably the one that I'm going to end up sticking to. But again, I would say that just for simplicity reasons, probably honestly if I had to buy these myself with my own money, I'd probably just end up going with this one, due to the fact that just the simplicity of this, you only need one cable, so it does plug directly into the back of your PC through USB-C. It does have I like how it has the audio indicator on here and the mute button. And I mean, considering the fact that, you know, this is half the price of this one, honestly, this is still a really solid option. But again, if you do need the features of this, if you do use a dual PC setup and streaming, then obviously this could be more beneficial for you. And aside from that, the only one real downside I can see from these is, in order to get all the benefits of the AI noise removal software, the EQ settings and stuff like that, the fact that you do have to have their GG software open in the background and use these sonar settings to enable that, you know, honestly, if you didn't have to do that, they'd probably make these, for me, the perfect microphones. And even though it is a small flaw, it does run solid on my computer. I never had any issues with the conflicting or notice it impacting the performance on my PC too much. Just, you know, just typically I don't like to have other things running in the background. But aside from that, really solid option coming out here from SteelSeries with both of these. And I can truly tell you that I have enjoyed my time using both of these. So if you guys do have any additional questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.